Wanted to come into Wisconsin and establish a bottling plant and pump our groundwater.
Disrupts the total environment. Nestle is the largest international food corporation in the world.
They just have one thing in their mind, their bottom line.
I could see the land just being desecrated.
Trucks running 24 hours a day.
They had tremendous influence with the governor, Department of Commerce.
They didn't care about the environment.
They had a public relations firm. They had lobbyists.
And they will lie, and they lied to us. And we said, we're not going to do this.
And they left, you know, after a big struggle.
Let me tell you about the Kannos, Hiroshi and Arlene. They moved from an area around Chicago to a rural area in New Haven, Wisconsin, and were getting involved in the community and enjoying their rural life when a multinational corporation came to town. Nestle, Perrier is owned by Nestle, came into their area and set its sights on spring water in the Big Springs area, which was very close to the Kanno's farm.
It would have been a huge plant, I think 1 million square feet or something like that.
They were going to pave over a huge number of acres.
The traffic on our little town road would have been tripled or quadrupled with trucks traveling across it. Traffic
and fumes and noise, and it was going to go around the clock.
Disrupting our rural community and particularly our farm, which I'm pretty jealous of.
We have 72 acres, and we're trying to restore wetlands on our property.
We bought this land and we invested a lot of time and effort in it. She's a biologist and she loves the wildlife. So
we had a beautiful ecosystem that previously I had only been able to read about in books. And here we were able to experience these things. We've had little baby sandhill cranes, which are just really adorable. So we would have lost a lot of that.
To see it destroyed, I think would really, I mean, for me it would have been very hard, but for her it would have been heartbreaking.
The Kannos were instrumental in letting people know that this was happening, that spring water was potentially going to be taken by a multinational company out of the area and sold for a profit.
From Nestle's perspective, it was a win-win. It would have been a win-win if, you know, they could get the cooperation of the local grassroots.
They would have gotten all of the approvals they needed were it not for the Kannos and other families like them in the community who said no.
People were really resistant to the idea. We don't want our groundwater spent out, and we don't want our community totally trampled on by trucks and by big factories.
This, I think, struck a chord with many people in Wisconsin because we have a very strong ethic in this state that I think goes back to the founding of the state and the idea that all of the waters of this state are held in trust by the state government for the use of the public, for the shared use of the public, for all of us to enjoy, use, and put back so someone else can use it.
We wanted the water for nature, and there is no substitute for that. Their pumping would have been so massive that they would have dried up the wetlands.
It would affect the wetlands, which stretch from our property all the way to the river, Wisconsin River, because we're all part of the same groundwater system, watershed. We organized concerned citizens of Newport. We began to petition to fight the plant and the bottling company and the extraction of our groundwater. And the problem was that although we had petitions, we had a referendum, we had pickets, we had marches, all the publicity and all the support was not stopping it. So as a last recourse, we decided we had to go into court to stop it.
When we knew that we would be getting involved in this and we were discussing finances, we asked someone in our family for some assistance, and they turned us down. And I cried once. And then I figured that that is exactly what Nestle wanted us to do. They wanted us to be afraid of them. They wanted us to fall for their big corporate image. And we said, we're not going to do this.
We contacted MEA, Melissa Scanlon, and the firm of Garvey and Stoddard, and they advised us on what kind of steps we could take to at least try to stop them.
Perrier was making a number of claims about the water use and how minimal it was, and one of them was that their pumping of spring water would be similar to a farm pumping water and irrigating. And it was very obvious that water that's used to irrigate land is staying in a system versus water that's put in a bottle is leaving a system, and you have a loss. And it's basic arithmetic, I guess, and understanding of your ecology that most people in this state have that literacy level.
It delayed them. All the legal action did delay Nestle, and in the meantime, unbeknownst to us at first, Nestle was also looking into another area in the state of Michigan.
We didn't win our case, but we got enough diversion to it to stop them, and then Perrier decided to move to another state. The fact that people can have a voice, I think that's probably the major lesson. But you've got to work at it. You've got to organize. You can't just sit on the side and just say, oh, it can't be done, they're too big, and they'll beat us up and all that. But that's not true, and I think we've proven that.
That was a huge accomplishment for the Kannos and for Midwest environmental advocates for the state of Wisconsin.